All right, 3:40, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's digital host AJ Wuest here, welcoming you back to Before the Four. Of course, the live stream where I go through some of 48's top news stories, and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. I say it every day, wherever you're watching Before the Four this afternoon, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your Thursday afternoon here. Now, first, we have another 48 First Alert weather day, this time for this weekend, this Saturday, due to the dangerous cold weather moving into the Tennessee Valley. An Arctic blast is coming, and we have 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis today. Brad with the latest.
One of the nicest days we've had in a while. The clouds have kind of come back in and crashed the party, but hey, we're in the 40s. We'll be in the 40s again tomorrow, but tomorrow kind of ends differently. The winds start picking up, area low pressure forming off the Carolina coast and the southeast Georgia coastline. We'll get to that in a second, but boy, pretty nice view in the shoals. 46 degrees, 3 o'clock temperatures, low 40s, mid 40s though out towards Muscle Shoals and Russellville. That's helping. Here's the snowfall potential forecast. This is kind of what I think is really going to happen. This isn't a model. This is my brain here telling you I think we'll see a dusting in some areas. This is going to be similar to Monday. We're going to get some heavy flurry activity, and most likely it's going to be after midnight Friday night into about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning Saturday. And the best chance for a 1 to 2 inch snowfall in blue from Winchester and the higher elevations around Bridgeport, Rainsville, Fort Payne section, Rosalie and Fife, and then a highly better chance as you go from Chattanooga into the Great Smoky Mountains, where the Smoky Mountains are under a winter storm warning right now. Of course, the snow always gets the attention. It'll be a dry snow, and most likely it'll blow right off the road. But the potential wind gusts here, this is really going to catch some people off guard. This is the morning Saturday behind this major winter storm to our south and east. We could get wind gusts as high as 41 miles per hour, and that's going to make it feel just completely miserable outside, as we'll see the wind chill value probably around 9 below at times if we get the wind gusts that high. And it's still very windy up in the Appalachians as you go into the Carolina mountains. Real problems there with this developing winter storm. Could see a foot or more of snow in those areas. And as far as our Sunday goes, the winds will finally die down. Here's a look at 4:30. This is the future feels like, aka the wind chill factor. Notice how it really drops by Friday, 10 o'clock. So most of the day, not too bad. And then the wind chill Saturday morning drops to about 9 below zero in Leoma, Tennessee, 4 below in Huntsville. And keep in mind, wind gusts at 40 would make that much, much worse. It'd probably feel like 20 below if you get a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust. I urge you to drip your faucets this weekend. This is the kind of weather when we approach the actual single digits for overnight lows that we really start to get a lot of problems. In fact, we had problems earlier this week. In fact, as early as this morning with some pipes bursting in parts of Jackson County. Here's a look at Friday in the evening hours. The winds start picking up, some scattered flurry activity. Keep in mind, most of these flurries will be very dry, but there's our better chance for some decent snowfall, Scottsboro to Fort Payne. Again, that's very early Saturday morning. By Saturday afternoon, these are actual temperatures, 19 in Fort Payne and then 21 in Huntsville. So a very cold Saturday, and pipes will burst if you don't pay attention to them. 10-day forecast, first alert weather day for the cold and wind. And again, the snow flurry is coming Saturday too. And as we go into next week, we're right back to where we are today, pretty much Tuesday. There's a chance of rain coming Wednesday. Right now that looks to be all rain. And then we're probably waiting until, I would say, Valentine's Day before we start talking about warmer weather.
Good Lord, Valentine's Day, is that what I just heard? Well, Brad, thank you so much. I'm not enjoying this cold weather, that is for sure. But you guys watching at home, you already know the drill. 48 First Alert Weather Extra tonight at 9:30. You can watch that wherever you're watching Before the Four right now. So that's Facebook, that's YouTube, and that is our 48 Now live stream on both our website and our news app. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis. He'll be back here in the streaming center. He'll have all the latest he's seeing on the radar, and feel free to ask questions in the comments. Any of your thoughts, questions, concerns, anything like that, Brad will see them and he will shout you out. And for questions, he will work to find the answer for you. So you're just not going to want to miss it. 48 First Alert Weather Extra. And as you heard Brad say, with the dangerous freezing weather moving into the valley this weekend, it's important to keep an eye on those pipes as they do burst in that kind of weather. Local plumbers are preparing for this weekend. Let's take a listen.
Cold weather overnight can mean water freezing in pipes, those pipes expanding, then bursting when temperatures rise above freezing. Andrew Rickabaugh with One Tom Plumbing and Rick and Call Restoration in Huntsville says they've received too many of those calls to count.
Well, hey, I turned on the faucet and no water came out. Then that's an indicator, well, you probably have a frozen line, right? So we can go out and try to thaw that out, but that's a good indicator that, okay, if this customer is experiencing, then we get a second and a third, we know that we may have like a pretty widespread event. In years past, we've 10 to 20 times our normal business.
Rickabaugh told me just on Tuesday alone, calls tripled, and it may get worse as temperatures threaten to stay below freezing most of this weekend. Huntsville Utilities says homeowners should follow a few steps that can help. Let a thin stream of water run from your tap, use insulated faucet covers and pipe wraps in unconditioned areas, and keep cabinet doors open.
We want to be sure that we're sharing these tips with everyone in the community so that you can be prepared and know what to expect and know how to react should something happen at your home.
Rickabaugh says outside of the safety aspect, no one wants to pay the price that comes with property damage if you don't prepare.
Issues like this, it's called a loss for a reason, right? These things get very expensive very quickly. It's on the higher side, multiple thousands, and then it just goes up from there. And that's not even including the repairs.
Now in Marshall County, where the man killed in an officer-involved shooting earlier this month has now been identified. 58-year-old Gary Jordan of Gunnersville was pronounced dead at the scene. Now on January 18th, Marshall County Sheriff's deputies and Gunnersville police responded to a domestic-related call on Meadowbrook Drive near the Blount County line on Highway 79 South. Police say Jordan had a firearm and fired at authorities. Now, authorities returned fire and Jordan was shot dead. No authorities were injured in the incident, and we'll have all the latest as we continue to learn more both on air and online. But now turning over to a wild story in case you missed it. A Trinity man accused of cyber-stalking federal officers appeared in a Huntsville court yesterday. Investigative reporter Nick Ballinger has all the details.
Margot, the judge told the courtroom that he believed Cagle posed a serious threat to incite violence. And we do want to warn you, some of the posts shown in court today contain derogatory language. Jonathan Cagle will sit behind bars awaiting trial after prosecutors say he cyberstalked U.S. Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon. Cagle was indicted on federal charges last week after he apparently was staying at his parents' home in Trinity. In an interview played in court, Cagle told FBI agents he spent the last 4 years, 14 hours a day, dedicated to exposing corruption. FBI agents testified Cagle had multiple X accounts where he would post anti-Semitic and anti-government comments over a span of nearly 2 years. In a chat room on X that was played in court, Cagle said, quote, "They are trying to genocide the white race," when talking about immigrants. He also said government officials need to be, quote, "terrified to come into the office." He then accused Dillon of working for the Israeli government and posted this to X. "Let's stop by." He then posted Dillon's address to discuss your work at. He then used an acronym for a federal public policy group and then makes an anti-Semitic derogatory comment and blamed the group for the murder of Charlie Kirk. Another post said, "If Harmeet posts another knitting photo without arresting any bad guys, we'll dox her, her whole family." It would go on to say, "We're done with her kosher theater." Prosecutors say Cagle's account was blocked by Dillon. Also, when speaking about FEMA during Hurricane Helene, he said, quote, "FEMA, get out of North Carolina, Georgia. If you refuse to leave and continue blocking seizing aid for American citizens, we will shoot you." Cagle is only charged with cyberstalking because prosecutors say the address he posted was wrong. The judge said Cagle, who appears to be in his 30s, posed a strong threat to escalate violence and ruled he will stay behind bars. The judge told defense if Cagle could find a third party to monitor him and make sure he doesn't have access to the internet, then he would reconsider Cagle's bond. Reporting in Huntsville, Nick Ballinger, 48 on your side.
And with that, we're going to head to break, but coming up, North Alabama businesses embracing AI in the workplace, details on a new bill to prevent crypto scams, and a Shoals nurse getting creative on her commute to work during icy conditions. It's all ahead. We'll go through them all in 1 minute. All right, break time over. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Before the Four. And now let's talk about artificial intelligence. It's everywhere, and businesses here in North Alabama are using it. Sarah Grace Kennedy spoke with several businesses and has the latest.
AI is only a tool in the toolbox. It's not a way to replace a human. It's garbage in, garbage out. So if you ask it good questions, you're going to get good results.
Jason Puckett, the owner of Defense Pest Solutions Indicator, says he uses ChatGPT every day to help him manage his day-to-day workload.
ChatGPT has become my advisor. I still rely on other people. Now I don't have to call them every day. I can answer my own questions.
He also uses AI to create his employees' schedule, review financial reports, and create social media posts. While he uses ChatGPT as a tool, he still makes sure his work is authentic. Brittany Rutledge runs 2 real estate businesses in Huntsville using AI. She was skeptical at first, but now she says AI gets tasks done for her much quicker.
I can do something with AI 10, 15, 20 times faster than I can do because it's taking out the guesswork.
She uses AI to draft emails and create social media content, but always rewrites it to sound like her.
I think it's really important that I review everything it says. I don't just take it for a grain of salt, copy it and paste it. I read it and then I go back in and I change the wordings around to sound more like me. I don't want it to be something that replaces me. I want it to be something that helps me.
When clients come to her to ask whether to rent or sell their home, she uses AI to analyze the financial projections. Work that used to take her days now just takes moments.
Oh, it would take a while to research because there's so much math to it. So it's taking in and it's something that I could just pull up in a moment.
And I think that's a very responsible way to use it. Use it as a tool and certainly not as a replacement. But now a new Alabama bill has been proposed to prevent cryptocurrency scams here in Alabama. Callie Neese with everything you need to know about that bill. Let's take a look.
After one Huntsville woman was scammed out of over $300,000, House Bill 303 was introduced to help protect other Alabamians from falling from the same cryptocurrency kiosk schemes. Officials from the BBB and from the Alabama Securities Commission told me they believe this legislation could help many people here in Alabama avoid being scammed. Amanda Sin from the Alabama Securities Commission told me this bill would help put safety measures like capping daily or monthly transactions and providing refund mechanisms. She adds crypto is hard to trace, and that's why some scammers will encourage you to use cryptocurrency.
Most of the time the money is gone, which is why if we can provide, regulations or a framework to help prevent money from going out, the likelihood of recovery is virtually impossible. So with this House Bill 303, we hope that we can prevent that money from even being transmitted.
Karen Reeves from the BBB told me lots of scammers initiated in romance, pet, or even jury duty schemes use cryptocurrency, adding that this is a real issue here in North Alabama.
Well, the Better Business Bureau has definitely seen an uptick in crypto scams. The last couple of years, they have tripled the number that are being reported to BBB's scam tracker.
Reeves told me that she believes the safety measures in this bill will help prevent others from being scammed and that she's excited for this bill. Right now, this bill is awaiting consideration in a House committee. Reporting in Huntsville, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
And now check this out. A nurse at Helen Keller Hospital got creative over the weekend. She borrowed her niece's scooter in order to get to work with all the icy conditions. Aria Pons has the story.
Oh, you're going slow. Oh, there you go. You're going.
Shelby Smith decided to go the extra mile on Saturday while trying to get into work. That mile happened to be through freezing rain and icy roads here in Sheffield. On a scooter.
And then the day came and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to actually ride it. It's more safe riding the scooter and being able to just jump off right then instead of wrecking my whole car. So
you borrowed your niece's scooter?
Yes, her name's JC. She's 5 years old.
Smith borrowed her niece's scooter days before the weather was meant to hit, just to be safe. Eventually, she realized if she wanted to make it safely into the ER where she works, she would have to take it. So she put on 3 layers, a comfy coat, and headed out the door.
It was very cold. I didn't know it was raining at first. It was kind of just like a few little drops here and there, but when I really started going down the road, it started kind of coming down a little bit hard.
And it was an uphill battle most of the time, metaphorically and literally.
So the battery kept dying. I think it might have just been because it was so cold and the water was getting it a little wet, so I'd have to jump off and then start it back, and then sometimes I would just kick it like a normal scooter.
Smith says her coworkers were shocked when she rolled in. She adds that nurses don't get the recognition that they deserve, especially when they do have to come in, rain or shine, or in this case, snow or ice.
People are always going to need to be taken care of, so someone's always got to be here to do that, and I have a great work crew that came in also. So just being here and being able to take care of the patients is the most important reason why I had to get here.
Riding this thing is no joke, especially in the weather that Smith faced it in. Thankfully, Smith's co-workers offered her a ride immediately after that, as soon as they found out, and over the next few days, though Smith says she would do it all over again if she had to. Reporting in Sheffield, Aria Pons, 48 on your side.
The extra mile, indeed. It sounds more like the longest mile. How cold it was outside, I couldn't even imagine. But it sounded also like it was a lot of fun, without a doubt about that. Awesome story there. I love it. And now let's go into the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. Checking in with local grocery stores following the weekend's winter storm. West Lauderdale water customers without water this afternoon. Aria Pons will have the latest on that situation. And finally, Huntsville utility crews heading up to Nashville to help out with the power outage up there in the volunteer state. Now, currently about 90,000 people are still without power. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And y'all, it is that time. It is time for Facebook fun. We don't have a long to do it, so let's just jump into it. Our question today was, what would your superhero name be based on what you're best at? So what would your superhero name be? And let's see what you all had to say. Math man Bradford Thompson, great at math, I am assuming. Bradford, where were you at when I was in high school and in college? I definitely needed a hero back then. Awesome stuff. Sandy said, wonder where I left my phone, woman. Joel Creasy, Captain Procrastinator. I feel you on that, Joel. Me and you both. Captain Procrastinator. Looks like Carla said Carla cupcakes all day. I would love to try some of those cupcakes. Carla, awesome stuff there. And then Trina said Elasta Woman. I love it. Elasta Woman. And let's see, do we have another one? Arthur said Captain Yapper. And yeah, me and you both on that one also. I opted to do a villain name, and anyone who knows me knows I love burritos, so I think I'll be the burrito eating bandit. And with that, I am going to end it there. But thank you all for tuning in to today's Before the Four. Enjoy our evening newscast. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.